Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm Joanna and I'm glad you're here. I love to DIY on a budget. And if you like to sew, then catch me on Saturdays. Now, let's get crafty. Oh my goodness, what a week. So I recorded this and I do not have, the sound was terrible. The sound quality was terrible. You'll see me moving my hands because I did it talking. I don't voice over sewing videos very well because it's harder for me to do that for some reason, but I'm teaching our church girls how to sew and I made these scrunchies, okay? And I'm a mean teacher apparently. I'm not even going to go in detail about that, but I was trying so hard. We have 7 and I was trying to teach them, but I'm going to do this without any fancy cutters. I'm not using the rotary cutter. I will one time, but that's just for me. And I'm just going to do this by using, all you need is a tape measure. A yardstick is great, but a tape measure will work. You can go pick them up anywhere. This one is going to be a fat quarter. Okay, so all you need is a fat quarter. It's a small scrunchie, kind of like a regular normal size scrunchie. But I use different elastics, okay, because they seem to hold in your hair better. You'll see me flopping my hands. I have no idea what I'm saying. My shirt is sticking to me. I don't know what I did that for. I'm crazy. Oh, I was telling you I had a mic on my dress and that thing was stinky. It did not work. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Bad quality, cheap mic. Didn't like it. Don't know what I'm going to do about it now. Probably nothing, but anyway, so this scrunchie right here, you can pause this, but the regular is 3.5 to 4 inches by at least 21 inches long, which that's what a fat quarter is, okay? So that's how big this scrunchie will be. No, it won't. That's how big you need to cut. So I'm going to trim the edge off because I washed it and it's frayed. So I don't want that edge, and we're going to measure from the edge over. I'm going to do mine 4 inches. So we're going to measure from the edge over 4 inches. Okay, 3.5 would have been better. It'll make it look a little bit more scrunchy. And I will tell you, the longer your fabric, the scrunchier your scrunchie will be, because the elastic's pretty much the same. So for my elastic, I like to use non-roll elastic. Okay, I really like that one. This one looks like that. You have to sew this one closed. I can actually tie the other one. That's woven. And then that's the real stretchy one. I'll show you how they stretch right here. I do remember doing this. So this is the woven, and it stretches pretty good. Not a lot of stretch to it, but it's pretty good. This one, I love doing that. That one really stretches. That's a knit elastic, and that's the one I prefer. Okay, so I have my knit elastic already open, and I am going to, I'm trying to find a size. That one didn't have a size. I think it's not a half, but I like to use a half inch, okay? I really like a half inch. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to measure from the edge, and I'm going to take my tape measure. Now, you can use just a regular tape measure. Like I said, if you have a ruler, this, I didn't cut straight, and it's driving me bonkers. So, I'm going to have to straighten that edge up later. But I'm just telling you, if you had that, you could just mark it and then cut yours. You don't have to do this. So, in order to cut straight, you take your tape measure, and you put your edge where the 0 is, and you go over. I'm doing 4 inches. So this is a Frixion pen. It's erasable, but you can surely use a pencil because you're gonna cut it and it'll be hidden in there. So you can use a pen or a pencil. And I'm just gonna mark every 4 inches all the way up my fabric. I am so sorry I didn't have videos last week, y'all. Our air went out. I told my husband the refrigerator went out. Then the air went out, and I said, when it rains, it pours. I didn't even want to ask what else could happen, because I surely didn't want nothing to happen, but God is good. We made it. It was rough. It was, my windows don't open. I don't have screens. I did manage to get 2 open to put a portable air conditioner And not the ones you stick in the window, just the portable that sit in your house and then the little vent goes out the window like a dryer vent. Man, they didn't do, they kept it 80, 84 in here. That's all, 84. So I don't know what I'm saying. So, anyways, it was miserable, and I had to, in order to just keep it 83, 84 in the main part, I had to close off my craft room, my sewing room, one bathroom, and just have the living room and my bedroom, because you know I can't sleep when it's hot. So, those little air conditioners were doing all they could do, and we actually thought we were going to have a new air conditioner, which is about $9,000 or $10,000. And I'm like, Lord, ain't no way. I mean, I don't know what we was going to do. Turns out, y'all, God is good. $50 part and a service fee. Oh my gosh, we got it back running. Thank you, Jesus. But anyway, there's my 4-inch piece. And if you have, some of them don't have that piece, but if you have writing on it, on that selvage edge, selvage is just the edge of the fabric, you need to cut that off. Now we're going to take now that I'm done with my air conditioner story, I'm not asking for sympathy. Trust me, God is good. I'm telling you, we made it. Fold a piece in. This makes it that much easier. Fold it in now, okay? Fold it in, and then take and right sides together, okay? Fold right sides together, and you can pin or clip. I'm going to pin mine. Clip mine. I have clips. I didn't clip it. I'm just holding it. I don't know what I'm saying. Now I'm using my, I don't know what the model of the machine is, but this is my kids asked me, do I name my machines? I said, yes, I do. I have Black Beauty. That's my favorite. And this is Chevy. I'm fixing to show you why I call her Chevy. My husband and my pastor said it looks like an old Chevy car because it has a chrome pedal and then there's a chrome piece on the front there. And they said it reminds them of an old Chevy. And I thought that was funny. Hold on, I'll go look at the model number. Okay, so I looked. It's a Singer 185J. It's in a hard case all its own, and it only sews a straight stitch, and I'm going to straight stitch all the way down that fabric, and it's probably a 1/8 stitch, okay? So I'm just going to hold my finger between the fabrics, because that's the way I like to do it, and it helps me hold it in, hold it together better. So back stitch. Make sure you back stitch. You don't want it to come apart. Here's why I'm putting my finger in there. But anyways, I like to use these old machines every once in a while so they don't lock up, because they just need to be run. So I'm just going to go down, straight down this. I mean, I'm sure you've made scrunchies before. I'm seriously really only making this to help my girls because when you're teaching one-on-one, it's a whole lot easier. But when you're teaching 7 at one time and then trying to show them about their sewing machines, and all sewing machines are different, and it's just a little harder. So I'm seriously just doing this to help the girls that took home some fabric, okay? Because I done this, and I don't know. It just seems like it would make it easier for them. So I'm just using a safety pin. Okay, I called these bobby pins during the class. People were laughing at me, but I'm just using a safety pin, and I am going to, this is a different safety pin, okay? I got them in my Amazon store, but you can also find them, I find mine at Hobby Lobby. Sometimes they're sold out, but it doesn't have the round thing on the inside. Sorry, my camera is focusing, but I think I'm fixing to pull it out and show you right here. Yeah, I do. See, there is no round thing at the end of that safety pin, safety pin, and that keeps your elastic fabric, whatever you're stringing through there, to keep it from getting hung. And it also makes it where you can do this right here. Put your bobby pin in, flip it around, and then stick it down. And these will flip anyway. So you're going to keep your bobby pin going down through your safety pin going down through your tube. I don't know why I keep saying bobby pin. Now hold your safety pin with your finger and your fabric and pull the other fabric around the fabric that you're pulling down the tube. So you're flipping it right side out is what you're doing. And you're just going to hold it and keep pulling that fabric. And in a minute, you'll get enough fabric up there where you can just scrunch it all the way through. If you're using a long good grief, a long safety pin like this, and then pull it through. Just hold it and pull it through. And there you go. You've just flipped it inside out. Now, if you didn't get it, you can rewind me and do it over and over and over and over. That's the benefit of a video. So now I'm just going to remove my safety pin. And I am going to, it doesn't matter which way this goes. I usually take my roll crease and point it up. Okay. So I'll put the crease of it pointing up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off my piece of elastic. I tie mine and I do not sew it. You can sew it and I'll show you that in a minute. But I'm going to cut it off at about 8.5, and that gives me room to tie. Now, some of them, depends on what fabric I use, I cut them off at 9 and tie it. So I have more, more stretch to it. But with these, you don't want a lot of stretch. So make sure you hold on to that piece. I actually got it through and had to do it again. I'm pretty sure this is the one that I did that to. So it was able to scrunch up the whole thing. Hold on to that. If you can't hold on to it, then clip it or pin it. And when I did that, I think maybe this ain't the one I let go of. Nope, I got it. So I have both ends of my elastic. I'm going to hold those, remove my pin, and then you're just going to tie this in a knot like you're tying a balloon. And honey, it's as tight as tying a balloon. So I said, if you need more elastic, give you a little more elastic. Push towards the end when you're tying, but don't make it toward the very end because it'll come apart. But just pull your knot like that right there. Did you see what I did? Pull your knot. Pull it forward. Don't pull it off. If you untie it, you can tie it again. And then I like to stretch it like that to make sure it's going to hold. Now, my finger was crooked. When you when you pull this through this, make sure, because you have to sew across this, pull your knot through where it's not going to be in the way where you sew, because that would be tragic. So my needle is a 12 or 14 when I'm sewing fabric like this. I think I knew I was going to be sewing silky fabric, so I put a 12, a size 12 ballpoint. Size 12 ballpoint. You'll want ballpoint going through stretchy or knit fabrics. And I just used a ballpoint through here because it worked. It's just a scrunchie, so it's no big deal. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take that ragged edge and you're going to put your crease up. Okay, put your seam up throughout your scrunchie. I'll show you. See how the seam is up throughout the whole scrunchie. Okay, and then you're going to take and match seam to seam, but you're going to shove that or poke that ragged edge through the edge that you folded. Okay, and this is going to make a clean seam. So you're just going to tuck that down in there and make sure both seams are at the top. And then when you pull your folded edge through, okay, make sure your knot's not in there, nowhere where you're going to be sewing. And then make sure that your seams are together. And then you want to try to make sure that your back piece and your front piece is pretty much the same. You can feel it. Now, if you have to, put a little pin sideways in there, but you're just going to sew right along the edge of that, okay? So I'm going to put it in here, and I'm just going to sew right along the edge, and that's going to close off your scrunchie. Now, if you sew this and you don't catch the back, you can go over it again, or you can take a seam ripper and rip your stitches out and then scoot over and go over it again. But most of the time, if you're over far enough, you'll get it. You'll get both pieces. And you don't want to be too far or you won't sew the thing closed, okay? because it's not very much that you folded. Now all you have to do is just clip your strings off. You have, most people have snippers. I don't use my big scissors because I'll cut the whole stinking thing. And there is our scrunchie. And see, it doesn't pull that much. That's because me and my daughter both have kind of thin hair, and I made this for her. But the longer your fabric, the more it will scrunch. She said if she can't wear it in her hair, she'll wear it on her wrist. And I'll show you how you can do that in a second. You can put it on your wrist, and then you can stick a carabiner or something over it. And I'm going to show you what a carabiner is. You might not know. I'm going to show you in just a second. Let me go get it. I know I got one. I told you I had one. So I'm just going to stick this carabiner. This is a big one. You can buy these at Walmart. You don't have to go nowhere special. They have them at Walmart in the tools part, I think is where it is, or fishing or something like that. But then now you can just hang your keys off of there, your little wristlet wallet, whatever, and that's kind of cute. That's what one girl said she might do with hers in the class. So yeah, there's an idea. But anyways, there's that one scrunchie. That's how you do a tube scrunchie, and you can do them however long and however big you want. And that's with cottons, flannels, anything like that. That's not silky. Now with silky fabrics, I love this one. This one is velour or velvet or whatever. You can buy that at Hobby Lobby, and it's pretty cheap. They have their fabric goes on sale every other week or once a month, I know, but I think it's every other week. I don't know. They change so much. I don't know, but it does go on sale at least once a month, 40% off. So this scrunchie, and I don't think I showed you, I'll show you the paper later, but we're going to mark over. You want 6 to 7 inches. Okay. I think I'm doing 6 or 6.5. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But anyway, I'm just going to mark all the way up and then cut it off just like I did the other one. Okay. Make sure your fabric don't shift. But any silky fabrics, you want to do what's called a burrito method. I don't even know if I said that. But we're going to do a burrito method, and that's flipping it a different way. So slick fabrics, it's best to do the burrito method because when you do the ends and t-shirts and things like that, any knits or things like that, soft fabrics, it's hard to get it straight. And 9 times out of 10, for me, I don't close up the end like that. Plus, these just look more professional. And they don't have that flat side to it. But the flat ones aren't bad. The tube ones aren't bad. They're really cute. When you get them in your hair, you can't even see that flat side. This wasn't straight, and this is where I used my cutter. It's driving me nuts, and I got to fix that side because it wasn't straight. And when I go to put my two pieces together, it won't be straight, and I'll get nervous as a cat on a tin roof, and I can't do it. So I just snagged that edge off. I might need to change my rotary blade. But anywho, if you're using cotton, flannel, that's cotton. A good choice of for headband or for scrunchies is good grief, lightweight. It's called Lord, I don't even know. It's a little cotton fabric, and it's really, really cheap fabric. It's for quilting, quilters cottons. A lot of those are thin, and those make really good scrunchies. Those you just sew like a tube style or whatever. But anyways, you're going to put your right sides together, okay? And you can pin or clip. I'm going to put a clip on here just because this fabric is shifty. So I'm going to take and sew just a straight line down right like that right there and close that off. And then I'm just going to have a ring, kind of like infinity scarf, okay? So that's how I'm going to sew this one. I absolutely love my vintage machines. There's the measurements. Extra large jumbo, 6 or 7 inches wide by at least 36 inches long. You can do more. Some do them up to 60. If you're doing the silks, they come, I think, 60 wide. Most fabric is 45 wide. But the some of the silks and stuff like that are 60 wide. I've seen them make them 60 wide, and they are real scrunchy. They are huge. But you can play around with your fabrics. You can play around with your elastics and find what works for you. Use different elastics, different fabrics, different lengths, different widths. I wouldn't sew anything less than a 3.5 because it's so hard to turn it, and it just, I don't know. You can make micro scrunchies, and they're hard to sew. So anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. I told y'all I did this and I was talking and my mic stunk, so I don't know what I was saying. So I'm talking you through it. So just put up with my jibber jabber, I guess. I don't know. Now you're going to take and you're going to lay this down, fold it right side out. Okay? Right side out. I actually helped a girl do this, and I told her to sew it, and it was inside out, and that was my fault. She was excited to get a seam ripper, so she actually had to use it. But anyways, put your fabric right side out, okay, and then lay it down on your flat surface. Fold your inside together, and then take your two outsides and put those together. So you're sewing right sides together. Okay? You're going to sew right sides together. So I'm just going to put a couple clips in. And this is only, you can use pins, pin it, just to get it under the foot of my machine. Now I'm going to bring my machine over here, and I'm going to try to make it where, I hope I don't get my hands in the way, where you can see what I'm doing, because you have to sew this fabric with right sides together. Your little other part will be in the middle. Do not sew your other part. You can feel it with your hands and make sure you don't catch it. I don't know what I did. Knowing me, I had to cough or get a drink or something. But put this under your machine. Put your foot pedal down. And make sure that you do not catch the fabric that's in between your little burrito sandwich thing here. So this is where I really like to keep my finger in it, and I'll take my point finger and I'll hold my fabrics together, because I don't pin this all the way down. You can pin it, just keep pinning it when you get it. You can put pins in it, take them out, pull it, pin it, take them out, that's up to you. But make sure you back stitch, okay? And then you want to sew down, making sure that you do not catch that other fabric. Make sure it's out of your way and pushed back. Now keep sewing down, and I'm just sewing with the edge to edge. It's like 1/8 of an inch seam allowance here. And I have to open it up and push that middle in. Make sure it's not in there. Hold it over with your finger. I knew I'd get in the way, and just keep going down. Now, when you get to where you can't hardly sew anymore, make sure your presser foot's down, your needle is in your fabric. Grab your inner fabric. Grab your outer fabric down there. Pull your inner through your outer. And all you're doing is flipping this the right side, okay? Pull it until it meets up pretty much to your presser foot. And then you're going to keep that middle inside there. And then you're just going to sew right down the edge. So all you're doing on this one is you're just sewing a little piece and pulling. Sewing and pulling. Sewing and pulling. Until you end up at the end. Now, it depends on how long it is, on how many times you have to stop and pull, really. I can get pretty much a long piece sewn with this long one before I have to stop and pull again. Sometimes if you pull it too tight or too much, you'll have to take it out of your foot and put it back under there. You have to adjust it, but I make sure your presser foot's down and your needle's down to hold that fabric while you're pulling. Otherwise, you'll have a mess. So I'm just going to the end until I get about an inch. Okay? So I'll leave about an inch open. And that's going to give me room to pull my tube the right way. So you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute here. Just keep sewing till you get to the end and you have about 1 inch. I like to stick my fingers in the hole, and that way you know you're not going to sew over your fingers. And that lets my brain know I got to stop right there. Okay? Make sure you back stitch when you stop, and then lift your presser foot and take your fabric out. Cut your uglies off, which is your strings. I call them uglies because we don't like them. And then you're going to take and pull that inner through that hole. And that's going to pull your scrunchie the right side out, like that right there. Okay? A lot of the girls had trouble with this part. Rewind me, girls. If you watch this, rewind me. So now I can't find the hole. It's so hard to find the hole because it just like sucks back up in there. I'm thinking, why do I even gotta sew this hole? But you do. Now, had some uglies sticking out. Now you're going to get your elastic and you're going to thread this through the hole. And this may be where I lost my elastic. I'm using the same elastic and I'm cutting it at 9 inches long on this one because I didn't have room to tie it, and it didn't have much stretch on the last one. So I'm cutting it longer on this one. If you use the other one, I think I show you how to sew it, but you're just going to put your pin in this, and then you're going to, I lost my hole again. Y'all believe me? Run it through here, okay? And I take another safety pin and hold it. I think I can hold it with my hand, but I don't. I accidentally let it slip. Or you can put it up there and clip it. Maybe I don't let it slip. Maybe I edited that part out. I don't even remember. What am I doing? Oh, I'm looking for my little safety pin in there. Take a little safety pin. I pinned it. I didn't lose it. Might have been the other one and I deleted it. But anyway, run that through there. That'll hold it so you know you're not losing it. And then just push your pin through your tube, your safety pin, and then pull it and then scrunch it. You see what I'm doing. This is self-explanatory. I mean, you can actually see what I'm doing by pushing the pin, and then when you get down there, push it out the hole, which I had trouble finding again because I covered it up with it pushed in with my pin. So find your hole, pull your elastic out the hole, okay? Keep that one out. I keep my pin on it until I get the other one out. Now make sure when you undo this pin that you have a hold of your elastic, or it'll pull back through and you got to string it again. No big deal, but it is a pain in the rear. So hold both ends of your elastic. Now, to sew it, if this was thicker elastic, I would hand sew this one if I was going to sew it. Just put it on your machine and just go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then that will secure that together. I would hand sew it, but I'm just going to pull mine. It has a lot of stretch, and I'm going to pull it. And when you tie it, I'm going to go through it again. Pull it through like a balloon. This one gave me some trouble. I don't know why. I guess because I had more fabric. Pull the two ends, and then pull that down. Pull your knot part down. You don't want to let that slip through. Just pull your knot part down and then pull it tight, and that'll pull it up as far as it'll go. You can trim your elastic there, but I never do in case it just comes off. Now make sure, this one you don't have to worry about your hole. Now to sew this one up, the way I taught the girls, you could take it, hold it together. I would put a pin in it because it's slick, and then just do a straight stitch on the edge of that material. But I am going to hand sew this. I'm going to hand sew this shut. So you thread your needle, okay? Put a knot in the end. Make sure you put your knot in the end. And I'm using a different color thread to show you. But if you use the same color thread as your scrunchie, or at least as close to the color, this one you could actually do a white thread and it probably wouldn't show. But there I go. I lost my hole again. I'm trying to find it, y'all. I'm thinking at this point, why would you even have to close it? But you would, just because. But take your hole, and I'm going to try to do an invisible stitch. But like I said, you'll see it with this thread. I'm going to go in, and I'm going down the side of the seam here where it folds, and I'm going up the fold. I turned the light on because it was hard to see me, or at least I thought it was. So go up the fold like that right there, and you're going from the inside out. That way you don't have your knot on the outside. Now pull it through, pull it almost all the way through, catch and go inside your thread, and that'll secure that your thread doesn't come through your fabric. Now you have that nice and secure. You're going to go in the other side. Okay, you're going from side to side here. You're going to go in the other side. You're going to put a stitch, see, going straight down that fold seam. Straight down that fold seam and pull it out. This hides your thread. You'll have a very little piece showing. And if I had the same color thread, you would never see it. It would get lost in the scrunchie. So you're just going down piece by piece. I mean, a little by little. Just going down the fabric so that your thread is hidden inside your fabric. Okay? And you're going to do this from side to side. You see what I'm doing? I'm just pinching the fold. You'll get faster at this. Now I'm going to hold them together. This makes it so much easier. Once you get a little bit, you can. Look how fast this goes, okay? Look how fast this goes. I know one girl's actually making them, and she sent me pictures, and she's having trouble with this part. So if you can hand sew it, that might make it easier. Maybe if you don't leave as much. Now tie it off at the end. Make sure you knot it. I don't know what I had a piece of the other thread. But maybe if you don't leave as much to turn it, just like a 1-inch hole, you wouldn't have to sew that much. I don't know if that may be what's wrong or not, but anyway, this is another method. So you just go from side to side. Now, when you get to the end and your hole is closed up, you're going to want to take and go around your needle 3 times. Hold it with your finger, okay? Pinch that and then pull your thread, and that'll pull a knot there. And like I said, if this was the same color, you wouldn't see it. Now I'm going to go down through the scrunchie, and I'm going to come out somewhere and just pull tight and then cut that thread off. And that will kind of hide your knot better down in when you pull it through your scrunchie. And there you go. You have your scrunchie. There you go. So here are all the scrunchies that I did last night and then today. And I hope that this helps you girls if you watch it. If not, I hope it helps somebody. Scrunchies are fun. They're always in style. And so there you go. So thank you for putting up with me, because y'all know I have the gift of gab and I'm crazy. But until next time, if you're not subscribed, please do so. It helps my channel, helps me grow. But anyways, until next time, remember that you are a blessing, and I appreciate you. Goodbye.